Sebelum terlupa. Okay, so bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Okay, so before we start our session today, so I would remind everybody to mark your attendance through Putra Blast. So hopefully there is no more problem this week. Okay, please mark your attendance through Putra Blast. Okay, so this week we continue with data management. Okay, data management. How we are going to manage our data. Okay, so first, before that, I'm going. Okay, sorry. This is the LO for today's session. So at the end of the sessions, students are able to define the steps in quantitative data management. Okay, we manage the data first, and then prepare the code book. Okay, code book, the appropriate coding for our variable, for our items, and then define and label the variables. Okay, and then key in data and then check data for missing values and extreme value. Okay, so I already uploaded the ERS5951 data in our Putra Blast, so you may download from that. Okay, but I will start from basic today. Okay, preparing the code book. Okay, so what is code book? Okay, code book ni in quantitative data. Okay, we use code to represent certain items of variable code. Okay, so the coding ni referring to the process of assigning numbers to the values or levels of each variable. Because in quantitative data, okay, the system that the quantitative system or the quantitative data analysis tools that we are going to use only able to capture the data in numbers 1, 2, 3 only. Okay, it cannot capture any qualitative data. Qualitative means that the data in wording form. Okay, if you have any data in wording form, then you need to transform your data so that they are in quantitative or in numbers form. Okay. Okay. So this is an example of coding. For example, ranking. Then we use 1, 2, 3. 1 to represent the freshman, 2 sophomore, 3 junior, 4 senior. Okay, gender. We use 0 to present male, 1 to represent female. Okay, you can. Putus terputus terputus kejap
Hilang kejap.
Cakap seorang kejap tadi. Okay. This one Okay, so gender ni, okay, we can use gender ni, I use here 0, 1 because which number that I use doesn't give any meaning. So I use 0 to represent male, 1 to represent female. Okay, but later on when I enter into the analysis, a descriptive analysis, if let's say the result indicated that the mean for gender is 0.5, so I know that 0.5, what does it mean? Gender 0.5. Where does the 0.5 comes from? Okay. For example, I use 0 to represent male, 1 to represent female. Later on, I run the descriptive analysis. Then I include the gender ni in my descriptive analysis. So the result for mean equals to 0.5. 0.5 because 1 plus 0 equals to 1 divided by 2 because there are 2 groups. So 0.1 and 0.5. So 0.5, what does it mean? 0.5 for gender.
Half, man.
Is there any half gender? Dapat dah? You get it?
You cannot get mean or median kan for gender.
Yes. So we cannot get the mean for gender because 0.5, what does it mean 0.5 for gender? Is it undecided between male and female? Because I assume there are only 2 acceptable genders, 1 male, 2 female. Tak ada unidentified. Okay, so 0.5. So for certain variable, you should know that the numbers that we use just to represent the group, it does not give any meaning. So it reflects again our scale of measurement that we discussed last week. Okay, ada yang kita nak pakai, ada yang kita tak pakai. Okay, next one, smoking. Athlete. Okay, so either athlete or non-athlete. Okay, 0 non-athlete, 1 athlete. Smoking, 0 non-smoker, 1 past smoker, 2 referring to current smoker. Okay, live on campus, 0 off campus, 1 on campus. How commute, 1 walk, 2 bike, 3 car, 4 public transit, 5 others. And then rank upper under, 1 underclassman, 2 upperclassman, for example. So the coding ni, it is actually only for researcher. Okay, this is a notebook for a researcher so that they keep track what does it mean by the code that they use in their data analysis tools. Okay, the code ni kita tak perlu pun, the reader no need, the reader does not need your coding ni, but this is the early process that a researcher should know. A data analyzer should know lah. Okay, so the guidelines for coding, for data coding. Okay, so we use numeric data in which it called as dummy coding. Okay, so 1 line for each participant. Okay, in terms of coding, we use 1 line for each participant. If we reflect, you may open your SPSS software. If we open the SPSS software or another software that you can use, last week I forgot to share. Hold on. I will share with everybody another software that you can use to replace the SPSS.
Doctor, for coding, should we put in our procedure or proposal, chapter 3?
For coding, okay, no need for us to include in our proposal because this is actually just the part for data analysis process. Okay, for data analysis process, we just mentioned how does we manage the data, but not as detailed as we insert the coding and so on. Tak detail tu pun, but it's just a technical process to ensure that it helps or it makes our final data analysis too easier. Okay. Okay, so these are the 2 softwares that you can download free of charge to replace the IBM SPSS if let's say it is not possible for you to get the copy. Okay, so the first one is JASP. Okay, you can just download free. Okay, in terms of the analysis, it will provide you with the equal findings as IBM SPSS. I already made the comparison and then the findings exactly similar. Okay, and then another option is PSPP. This one, Okay, this is also the free of charge. Then you can download it according to your system. Okay, both are compatible with IBM SPSS. Okay.
Doctor, are we allowed to use more than one software to analyze?
Why you want to use more than one software to analyze? Why? Saya tanya pula.
Ada sebab lah. Macam doktor cakap nak compare kan.
If you are allowed, but in final report, you just mention that you use one. Okay, you use one. Tak ada ni pun. Unless if you use higher level analysis. Okay, higher level ni means that if you run the mediation analysis, for example. So if you run mediation analysis in SPSS, will be different with the result when you use the MOS or PLS, partial least square software. Okay, dia ada beza. But for the basic statistical analysis ni, there are no differences lah so far as I see. Okay, because kalau for the higher level analysis, for example, you use mediation or moderation in your analysis. Okay, if you use SPSS, IBM SPSS, okay, when you run the analysis, you have to run the analysis individually for each model. For the mediation model tu, you have to run it individually. Okay, so that's why the result will be different. But if you use MOS or partial least square PLS, okay, you can run all the analysis of one model, one mediation model that include more than one IVs too in one shot. So the result ni will be different with the analysis that included only one variable each time with the whole model for one shot. But for the basic analysis ni, the result are similar, but you can make the comparison lah. Boleh try and error dulu. But in report, just provide just provide one way, one statistical tools only to avoid being asked too many questions by your examiner. If you think you can answer, then it's okay. Okay, saya cuma nak bantu saja, saya bagi tahu. Boleh, but prepare with the answer. Okay. Okay, and then the code that we use must be mutually exclusive codes. Means that we can only use that code once. We cannot use similar codes for more than one items or variable. Okay, it must be mutually exclusive. And then code every variable for maximum information. Okay. And then for each participant, this one code every variable for maximum information ni. Particularly when you have a qualitative items in your questionnaire. For example, if your answer in the above question is yes, then provide your justification. For example, you have this type of question in your questionnaire in which you allow your respondent to give their opinion. So then you need to add your code, okay, to maximize the answer so that you didn't miss any answer from your respondent. Okay, and then for each participant there must be a code or value for each variable. Okay, there must be code for each participant. There must be a code or value for each variable. Okay, and then you use the consistent codes. Okay, use the consistent code. And then use high numbers of codes for positive attributes. So that's why we use 5 need to represent strongly agree. Okay, 4 agree. 3 not sure. So we use it is because it is strongly recommended. Because high value ni will represent that there is a positive attributes. Okay. This is another example of codebook. Okay.
Betul.
Ya.
Sorry, betul. Yang boleh patah balik tak? Sorry.
Boleh patah balik.
Okay, Jen, I want to ask for number 7 kan. There are some item that reversal. So should us mana make just susun siap-siap the reversal, or we have to put also mana strongly disagree juga walaupun the item for the item sebenarnya dia dah reversal. Faham tak saya? Maksudnya perlu tukar siap-siap ke ataupun you have follow juga strongly disagree?
Okay, if the items are in negative direction, so then you for the early stage then you can just maintain. But after you insert in your draft, or sorry, in your data analysis software or data analysis tools, then you can just reverse coding the item, boleh. But if let's say you are at the stage of developing the instrument, not adapting the instrument, but developing the instrument. Maksudnya later on you conduct a study just to develop an instrument. To develop an instrument on employee engagement, for example, in which you want to make sure that the new instrument ni capture exactly your organization. So you establish a new instrument. So as an instrument developer, so you are advised to use the positive high numbers for positive attributes. Tapi kalau dia dah establish macam tu, should be fine. Later on we just reverse code accordingly. Okay. Lagi question? Any other question? Ada. Okay, this is another example This is just quite similar from the previous one. Okay, so you can open your SPSS. Okay. Probably they are a little bit different because last time I use my MacBook, this one ni. So saya ni lah. This time saya pakai ada beza sikit lah, sikit. Okay. So there are two windows, okay, data view and variable view. Yes, similar sama data view and variable view. Okay. Before we are able to insert the response of our respondents in data view, we need to include the necessary information under the variable view. Okay, we need to do some setting in our variable view windows. Okay. So basically there are 11 columns that will allow you to input the variable name. Name here we reflect the variable name. Variable ni can be the item, can be the variable itself, can be the construct or sub-construct. Okay, and then type of variable, okay, the width, okay, and the number of decimal that you want to use. Sometimes you didn't use any decimal. Sometimes you need to have more accuracy. Then you expand until 3 decimal places. Okay, and then variable level. Okay, variable level, value levels. Okay, missing values. Okay, and then columns, align data left or right, measurement type, and variable row. Okay, hold on Okay, so this is my SPSS windows. Okay, for variable view. Okay, so the name basically it is recommended for us to start enter our data by ID. ID ni represent identification number for our respondent. ID, identification number. Okay, in our questionnaire booklet, if you aware, most of the printed booklet on their top right side, okay, most of the printed booklet most of the printed questionnaire booklet on the top right side, you can see there are number. This number ni represent apa?
Participant.
Represent participant. Because when collecting the data, we are not allowed to collect the personal data related to our respondent. We are not allowed to do so. Let me open example of questionnaire. Mine is based on online survey. Okay, but most of the printed last time they have the numbers here. They locate numbers here. Okay, numbers here numbers here represent the respondent. Okay, so make sure it is tally between the numbers that you input here with the number that you insert in your SPSS. Why? Okay, because we need to make sure that if you have any issues related to the data entered later, then you can refer directly to the number of questionnaire that you located here. You can refer directly to the similar questionnaire. Okay, so we use the number here, the ID number, as our future reference. Okay, we do not identify our respondents based on their format, based on their detail, based on their personal detail, but just based on numbering. We do not know who answered our respondent, because in quantitative research, okay, the interest based on the group response, not based on the individual. Meaning that the finding ni, we are interested to make generalization for the whole group, not per individu as what in qualitative study. Okay, so this one you can insert as one of the way you make sure that the response are anonymous. Okay, anonymous. Okay, next one, the type. Okay, so the type referring to the type of data that you are inserting. Okay, so for ID, so which type of data that you want to insert? So it is numeric, number. Okay, number, comma. Okay, if let's say you have data that are in qualitative form or in wording form, therefore you can choose string. Choose string. Okay, if you have the data, for example, if you answer yes for the above question, then provide your justification. Then all the justification provided by your respondents, you can insert as string. Okay, so then you can write the wording answer here. Okay, if not, if you use numeric, then therefore you cannot insert any wording answers. Okay, and then the
Doktor tak nampak slide.
oh, saya dah. Okay. Sorry. Okay, yeah. Okay, wait ni tak ada apa. Decimal ni referring to the decimal places. Label ni you just you just explain what does it mean by the code that you use under the name. Okay, because the name ni there are limited spaces for name. There are limited characters that you can include under name. It cannot be too long. So that's why to provide the clear detail justification, details on what does the code means in under the name ni, then you spell it out here. Identification number. Okay. Okay, the values ni referring to any scale. Okay, if you use any scale, for example, like scale, or for gender 0 to represent male, 1 to represent female, then you can insert the value, insert the element under the values ni. Okay, and then missing value. For missing value ni, you just if let's say in the case where in your questionnaire there are few section or few items that not been answered by your respondent, so then you can use a unique character in here to indicate that the items is blank or been left blank by your respondent. Okay, for some researcher they use 999. Okay, they just locate a unique number. Okay, or you can just leave it blank. There are two options. Some other you want to include a unique number, or you just leave it blank. Okay, and then column, this one just the alignment, left, right, center. Okay, and then in terms of scale, okay, scale, what we learned last time, there are 4 scale of measurement, but in SPSS, in IBM SPSS, it's only indicated only 3 scale of measurement. Nominal, ordinal, scale. Okay, nominal referring to the nominal scale of measurement, ordinal referring to the ordinal scale of measurement, meanwhile scale referring to ratio and interval. Okay, so for this time I make it as nominal. Okay, done for the first one. Okay, then as you can see in your data view, the ID variable, the ID appears in our first column heading. Okay. And then next one, for example, this is my questionnaire. Okay, this example of questionnaire you can download from Putra Blast. I already uploaded in our Putra Blast. Okay, if you refer to the questionnaire, I locate the demographic section at the end of the questionnaire. So this is the demographic section. So I have gender, age, race, okay, religion, marital status, number of child, highest level of education, and so on. Okay, so let's check on our scale of measurement. Gender, what is scale of measurement for gender?
Nominal.
Nominal. Age?
Ordinal.
Age?
Ratio.
Yo.
Ratio. Ratio, Mahfuz, it is not in categorical form. Okay, it is in actual number. Okay, and then race? Nominal. Okay, so let's enter our first three data in our SPSS. Okay, first we have gender. Okay, it is a numeric variable. Okay, so for gender, I don't want to use 2 decimal places because numbers give no meaning. So I reduce it to 0. Okay, I don't need 1.11, 1.2 to know. Okay, 1 male, 2 female. Okay, and then this one gender. Okay, for the values. So 1 I want to use to represent male. And then I click add. Okay, and then number 2 to represent female. And then I click add. Okay, so this is the code that I use. 1 for male, 2 for female. So then I need to remember this code. Okay, and then okay. Missing value, okay, just leave it. So the scale, the measure here is nominal. Okay, next one, age. Numeric. Okay. Age in years. Okay, the value none. Okay, in terms of scale, measure scale. Next one, race. Okay, race. Okay, in terms of value, I have, seems like I have 5. Okay, 1 Malay, 2 Chinese, 3 Indian, 4 Bumiputra Sarawak, 5 Bumiputra Sabah. Okay. Okay, so this is another the example for demography lah. Okay, next one, if let's say I want to insert the item for my first variable, which is socially responsible behavior. Okay, socially responsible behavior. So the first item is, I use the code Q1. This code here, the item here, because before the analysis later on, before we the analysis, the actual analysis later on will be based on the overall item, the overall construct, not based on individual item. But In terms of when we want to insert our data, we need to insert all the individual item. Okay. So for CSR behavior ni, I have how many 4, 6, 7. Mana dua ni? Oh no, I have 22. Yes, I have 22 items, but I just insert one. Okay. So Q1, okay, the numeric. Okay, and then, okay, for the label here for Q1, you can copy and paste the overall item for item number 1. Copy and paste. Okay, you can just copy and paste and locate under the label. Okay, and then for the values, we insert our Likert scale. For 1, to represent the strongly disagree. 2 to represent disagree. 3 to represent not sure. 4 to represent agree. 5 to represent strongly agree. Okay. So this is our first coding. Yeah. And this is how we can insert or prepare or setting our data before we can insert our finding here. Boleh? Faham Insert dulu. Are everybody okay? Boleh? Boleh? Am I too fast or am I too slow?
Okay, Doctor.
Okay. So in terms of preparing this one, I stop here. Okay, now insert our data. Okay, so insert our data. As what I said earlier, that when we want to insert our data, we need to insert line by line. So we start with our first respondent, which is number 1, ID number 1. Okay, based on the questionnaire that I've shared, the gender for this respondent is male. So I use number 1. Okay, 1 to represent male, 2 to represent female. So now I just use 1 because it is indicated in my questionnaire that the respondent of the informant for this questionnaire is male. Okay, and then in terms of age, 56. Race, number 1. Okay, number 1, which is Malay. Okay, and then his answer for the first question for my CSR behavior is 5, which is strongly agree. Okay, yeah. Then this is how we insert the data. Okay, this one you need to set for the whole instrument lah, for the whole questionnaire lah. But I just provide you with the example. Okay.
Doctor Nomi.
Yes, yes.
Doctor, sorry. Just now at the SPSS, right? At the top there, there's this indication of like 3 circle and 1 ruler. What actually that means, Doctor? Like for the ID is 3 circle, the most top label.
This one
Do you know?
This one, right? Okay.
Oh, it's the scale.
Yeah. This one just indicated the scale of measurement of our variable. Okay, 3 balloons means nominal. Ruler means
Okay. Thank you, Doctor.
So that's all. Okay, next one. Done.
Doktor nak tanya.
Yes.
when we have get feedback from the respondent, can we code the participant from 1 to for example 200 by the arrangement from first come first serve basis that we receive, so that we boleh, alright. Okay, boleh. Thank you. Ingatkan kena cari satu-satu siapa yang tu. Okay. Thank you.
Because again, in quantitative research, the response that we receive from our respondents are anonymous. Okay, no need for us to know who respond or who answer the questionnaire. It's different with qualitative research. For qualitative research, we need to know our respondent, but in report, we make it anonymous by using the pseudonym. But we as researcher, we know who are our respondent in qualitative, but in quantitative, we do not know who are our respondent, and then we do not want to identify them individually, because the purpose of our finding is for the group for the group generalization, not based on individual. Okay, clear? Any other question?
Doctor, sorry, one more question. Do we also use the same setting for pilot test as well?
Yes, similar setting. Okay, it just for the purpose of pilot study and for the actual data analysis, the objective are different. For pilot study, the main purpose of inserting our data is to get the reliability values. Okay, the reliability values. We do not have any intention to run the analysis by using the pilot data. Okay, but for actual data, rather than confirming the reliability, the main intention is to run the analysis to get the finding to reach the objective of our study. Okay, dia ada dua objektif lah. Okay. Okay. So, any other question? Ada lagi soalan? Okay.
Doctor, for quantitative, since we do not know our respondent, can we put email for them to untuk isi maklumat email diorang ke, boleh ke Doktor?
Possible. In the case where they possibly forgot to answer a few items in your questionnaire lah, possible. But make sure in terms of reporting letter, you do not report them individually lah. So to possible to collect their email. Meaning that because we select them according to their willingness to involve in our study, then possibly when they answer the questionnaire, they miss few items. So we want to make sure that they answer all the items. But kadang-kadang when you distribute the questionnaire booklet, last time we use we use face-to-face meeting to distribute the questionnaire tu, face-to-face meeting. Okay, nowadays we apply the online. Okay, last time when we use the face-to-face meeting to meet our respondent to distribute the question to our respondent one of the common mistake that they did is hold on, let me show you. The common mistake that they did last time, they tend to mark at the middle between 3 and 4. Okay, 3 and 4 for example, or between 2 or 3. So we do not know which one is their answer, 2 or 3 or 4 or 3 or 4. So to confirm their answer, then therefore we need to contact them to ask them personally which one is their actual preference, 4 or 3. Because sometimes they answer the question quickly and then they miss the actual location to mark the item ni. So that's why they locate here. So to confirm the answer, then therefore we need to contact the informant personally. Ada sebab lah, possible to include the email address. in your online survey. Okay, because either you want to use online or face-to-face meeting ni, it depends on your target respondent. Okay, I'm sure that you already learned during your research method class lah. Okay, so for example, if let's say your respondents are those who have access to the internet, then yes, possible for us to use the online. But if let's say your respondents are among aunties that have difficulties to access internet or have difficulties to read the small fonts through online survey. Okay, so therefore your presence need to be there to read the items, to make sure that they understood the items, so then they can give you the answer. So maksudnya macam mana kita nak pakai survey ataupun online survey ataupun face to face ni, depend kepada siapa responden kita. Kalau responden kita accessible, then possible. Tapi kalau responden kita berada di perkampungan Sabah Sarawak contohnya, susah nak dapat online internet access, then you have to distribute the hard copy. Okay, dan inilah isu yang akan timbul nanti kalau bila kita guna hard copy ataupun soft copy. Okay, lagi ada lagi soalan?
Dr. Ami,
Yes.
If we use Google Form, then we no need to sign ID, our identification number for our respondent, right?
No need for it.
Even we have we have timestamp in Excel for data collection.
Timestamp Timestamp is just the time they answer the question, the question.
Yes.
The time, but
Then
no.
can we assume by referring to timestamp, then we assign which siapa yang mula jawab, kita assign nombor 1, nombor 2, nombor 3, tak perlu kan?
Betul, boleh. That one sama yang macam soal Balkis tanya tadi. Okay, it is exactly as what for example masih tunjuk contoh. Tadi saya dah buka. Hold on Lain kali kena tambah topik ni on online survey ni. Satu subtopik on online survey. Senang. Ada dah saya punya tadi. Okay, so this is the example. Okay, so after I converted my data into the Excel sheet ni, so this is what I got. Okay, so it is automatic. The numbering automatically appear actually. So no need for you to setting the ID again lah. The automatic appear. Okay, based on the timestamp lah actually. Okay, so you can use this one as your ID lah, as what in your SPSS sama. Okay, or actually you can transfer this SPSS Excel directly into your SPSS. Dia memang boleh. Nanti pandailah, you all adjust lah macam mana So sebenarnya dia boleh transfer, maksudnya from SPSS tu they can read few types of file including Excel. Okay, tak perlu you all nak masuk key in satu-satu lagi. Okay, ni contoh. So I just follow this one lah. Okay. Saya jawab Hafiz tadi Hafiz saya jawab Next one. Okay, so rules for naming the variables in IBM SPSS. Okay, first, the length of your character in the naming column shouldn't be larger than 64 characters. So that's why I said it is limited character only. Okay, and then it must start with a letter. Okay, so the remaining characters can be any letter, any digit, a full stop, or the symbol. Okay, ni apa hashtag tak tahulah ni ha ni. Ni or ni dollar ni. Okay, you can use any symbol. Okay, and then cannot contain spaces or end with a full stop. Make sure when you give the name of your variable under the name column ni, you do not have any space. Okay,
So, sorry tak keluar lah doktor.
oh tak keluar. Oh yang kedua tu sebab saya tak klik patut dia tak keluar. Okay, ni nampak. Length
Okay.
Lesser than or equals to 64 character, cannot be more than 64. Okay, start with a letter. They cannot contain spaces or end with a full stop. Okay, make sure you do not have the space in when you give the name. Okay, for example, you want to insert the CSR min. CSR min. So you can locate underscore CSR underscore min. So that the the name of this variable ni are in continuous form, not in two words. Okay, faham Dia tak boleh ada space. Okay, must be unique. Unique ni must be mutually exclusive. Okay, each code, each naming, each name you can only use once. Okay, and then the application is not allowed. Reserved keywords cannot be used as variable name. For example, so you cannot use this short form to represent your variable. All, and, by, EQ, GE, GT, LE, LT, and E, not, or, to, with. You cannot use this one as short form for your naming when naming your variable. Okay, variable names cannot be defined with any mixture of upper and lower case character. Tak boleh guna. Sorry, boleh guna. Boleh guna, can be defined lower and upper case. This is the rules for name. Okay. Any questions so far? Clear. Okay, so same goes when I do. We go directly to SPSS to give the name. Example, this one Q1. So none of my variable here I use more than one word. So for example, CSR min. Later on we want to run our analysis based on min. So for example, I use this name. So as you can see, variable name contains an illegal character. So as an option, then I use CSR underscore min. Okay. So it is appear here. So boleh. Use underscore as an option to make sure that when you give the name to your variable, it is in continuous form. Okay. Okay, next one, the type. So what type of data is it? So by default, okay, your system will show the numeric. Okay, again, if you want to use if your data in wording form, then you can select the string. So then you can insert your data in words. Okay, this one, for example. Okay, saya tunjuk kat sini. Okay, I have another variable on option. Okay, then here I choose string. Okay, so then my answer here can be saya suka. Oh, saya kena tambah. Sorry, I have to add this one. Wait, 100. Saya suka makan nasi lemak. Okay, so this is can be my answer. Only then I can insert the wording answer in my column. Yeah, change to string. Okay. Next one. Okay, wait. How many numbers will you be entering? So this one wait referring to the how many characters that we can include. So just now from 8 I increased up to 100. Okay, so by default you can include 8 characters, but you can increase accordingly. Okay, you can increase accordingly, according to the characters or numbers that you need in your data. Okay, and then decimal. So by default, it is 2 decimal places, and then you can change according to the type of variable that you have. Okay, so for example, for gender, because decimal places does not give any meaning, so then we just use absolute number. Okay, and then for salary, for example, you want to add the more precision in your finding, then therefore you increase the number of decimal places. Okay, it depends on your variable. Okay, and then label. Label allows you to provide a longer description of your variable, which will be shown in the output produced by SPSS. So you do not need to put anything here for gender or the other variables, since the names are self-explanatory. Okay, for the variable that is or are self-explanatory, so no need for you to add the longer description. But for some items, or for example Q1, you use Q1 to represent the first item in your questionnaire, then therefore you want to include the long description, what does it mean by Q1. So you may just add, so you may just copy and paste the full items for question number 1 into your label. Okay, and then values. Values indicate the numbers assigned to categories for nominal variable. So this one referring to the scale or the coding that you use for the categories for each variable of your study. Okay, so this is the example, 1 male, 2 for female. Okay, and then missing value, ni dah lah. Laju. Okay, column, you can change the column width to reduce the space it takes on the screen. So ini untuk technical je. Alignment, sama ada left, right or center, up to you. Okay, and then in terms of measure, okay, it is referring to the scale of measurement for each variable. Okay, and then the role. So there are a few roles. Okay, so input ni referring to independent. Okay, input referring to independent variable, target referring to dependent variable. Both ni referring to the variable that you insert play 2 roles, independent and dependent variable. For example, if you have the mediation model, then you can assign both lah. Okay, the variable has no role assignment. Partition, the variable will be used to partition the data into separate samples for training, testing and validation. Okay, split included for round trip compatibility with IBM SPSS modeler. So this one is for higher level analysis lah. Okay, split ni So yang kita biasa guna input, target, both. This one, these 3. But by default, you leave it as independent pun should be okay. Okay, shouldn't be a problem. Okay, then this one, as what in the SPSS data ERS5951 data set that I've shared. Okay, you just continue defining and labeling all variables. Okay. So then, if you open the ERS5951 dataset, then you want to display the codebook or the dictionary that you already insert in your SPSS. So what you can do, okay, have you opened the data? Open the data, not yet. Okay, I give you 2 minutes to open the data. So then you can you know how to show or display the codebook that you already insert. Okay, kadang-kadang kita tak ada pun yang formal, we do not have the formal codebook. We do it we do it immediately when we want to insert the data. So then if you want to recall back your data, the code that you use, then you can use this function. And let me know once you are ready. And by the way, I've not yet share the first assignment, right? Belum
Doktor minta ingatkan nak bagi tahu pasal yang markah-markah tu. Minggu lepas lupa.
while waiting for you to open the data, hold on. I will share regarding the assignment. I forgot last week. But this one already uploaded in Putra Blast. Thank you, Balkis. Okay, so this is our assignment. Okay. Yeah, that's 5951 Allah. Okay. So 7 point will go to our assignment according to selected topic, which will be completed through individual assignment. Oh, nak hujan. Okay, and then another 30% we are going to have our final exam. Okay, the format ni, final exam ni, you will be given an output, okay, from SPSS, and what you need to do is just to follow the step by step and then provide the interpretation and and then report the appropriate statistics. That one for final exam. But for our assignment, there are 7 assignments, because each assignment will contribute 10 points. Okay, so the 7 assignment include the univariate descriptive analysis, 10 marks. Okay, all 10 marks. Exploratory data analysis, t-test, one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA, correlation and regression analysis. So under correlation and regression analysis ni, it will include the Pearson product moment correlation, Spearman rank order correlation, simple linear regression and multiple linear regression, and lastly the chi-square analysis. Okay, ini the final question lah. Okay, but again, our topic we will cover until the introduction of mediation and moderation, but our assignment only stop until chi-square. Okay, yeah, simple je, senang je ni. Yes.
Doktor, for sit-in pun kita kena buat ke?
For what?
For sit-in student,
No,
also attempt on.
No need. For CE student, no need for you to submit the assignment. No need for you to attend the final exam. All you need is to come to class and then listen to my bebelan. Okay.
Doctor, submission assignment through Putra Blast.
Submission of assignment. Okay, submission of assignment through Dropbox. So for the Dropbox ni, we use similar format as what when you attended my complete class. Okay, you just share the one folder by using your metric number. Okay, by using metric number, share one folder, and then the submission tu you just include in the folder lah, in the Dropbox folder. Okay. By the way, after completing this assignment, you can already completed the first. Boleh dah kot ni. Okay, hold on. I will share our first assignment. I will share here and then I will share later in our Putra Blast. Dua-dua saya akan share.
Submission assignment is done weekly or?
Supposedly weekly, but for assignment 2 and 3, you cannot complete the assignment 2 until you complete the assignment 3 for EDA ni. So it's okay lah. For assignment 2 and 3, lambat sikit pun tak apa. Okay. So if you already open the ERS5951 data, okay, so this is the question the question in the first assignment. Okay. So this is the variable that I use. PB represent the philanthropic behavior. CP represent the coping strategies. For the coping strategies ni, there are 7 items. For emotion-oriented coping, 7 items, and for avoidance-oriented coping, there are 7 items. Okay, so in this instrument, okay, there are few items that negatively coded. Negatively coded ni means that they are not in common direction, similar direction with the rest. Okay, how to identify that either the items is positive or negative? How?
Tengok pada soalan.
Negative statement. I did not know.
Do not know. Okay, first we check on the attributes of our variable first. The attributes of our variable. So for example, the variable that you choose is deviance behavior. Is deviant behavior is a positive attributes or negative attributes?
Negative.
Negative attribute. Deviance behavior. So it is a negative attribute. So we expect the items within the instrument will show the negative direction. For example, negative item, positive item for deviance behavior. I like to absent from my work. So it is a deviant behavior, right? Right. It is a negative. It is a positive item for deviance behavior. Am I correct? Right? This is a positive item for deviance behavior. But if let's say we have items like this, okay? I always come to office on time. So this one is a positive or negative item for deviance behavior.
Negative.
Negative. So it is a negative item for deviance behavior. So therefore, we need to reverse code. We need to reverse code the item. Okay. How to reverse code? Okay, we go to our data set. Item number, social network size, item 4 and 5. Okay. We go to our data set. Oh, tadi saya nak tunjuk benda lain tak? Saya nak tunjuk benda lain tadi kan? Saya nak tunjuk, I want to show you on how to show your codebook kan?
Ya.
Alah, kita tunjuk codebook dulu lah. Okay, saya tunjuk codebook dulu. Cepat sangat saya ni, jam. Okay, if your data are ready with you right now, what you can do is to display your codebook. The first one, you select file, click file, then click file, and then click display data file information, display data file information, and then click working file. File, display data file information, and then working file. Then in a split second, then it will show you it will display to you the codebook. Saya punya tak tuan. File. Saya share saya punya ni. File, display data file information, working file. Ni. Okay. So this is my codebook. Okay. So everybody got similar codebook? So this is then for your codebook you can just print this one. Ini sama je. Okay? Kalau malas nak tulis sendiri sebenarnya inilah sahaja you all boleh detect salah satu. Okay. Next one. Nanti saya habiskan that one dulu baru kita pergi dekat kita punya assignment. Habiskan slide dulu. Saya ingat hari ni sikit je. Panjang juga pun ni. Okay. Next one. Data entry. So data entry done. Right? Anybody has expected problem for when inserting the data? Tak adalah kan? Boleh kan? Shouldn't be a problem, right, to insert the data? You just insert your data line by line. You complete one first respondent, second respondent, third respondent, and so on. Okay, line by line. Okay? Ada masalah? Ada? Okay, ni another option lah. If you click this button, okay, then the value label instead of the numbers will show. Okay, instead of the numbering ni dia akan tunjuk the labels. all punya SPSS. Okay. Contoh, for example, okay, this is my data set. So then I change this button. Okay, it will change from the numbers to wording. Okay, the view lah, the view. Okay. Okay, next one. It's raining heavily outside.
Doktor, boleh tak kalau daripada apa ni? Daripada data yang dah dapat daripada responden tu, kita tampal dekat dalam SPSS macam view tadi tu, view yang label tu keluar diploma, SPM semua. Lepas tu klik yang tu dia tukar jadi number. Tak jadi Dia takkan boleh macam tu Oh, okey. Malas kan saya?
Yes, sometimes I also think the same way, but for the time being, no. It's quite difficult. Sebenarnya it's quite difficult juga to transfer the data from the Excel tu sebenarnya. Unless if you use coding, memang daripada awal tu guna coding. Dia ada sikit lah susah dia tu nak transfer. But from the very beginning, you still have to use the numbers. You cannot insert word. Okay, dia kena start dengan numbers, baru you can convert into word tadi tu. Kalau masuk word dulu tak boleh, dia tak boleh capture. This is the limitation of SPSS. Takutlah pula kilat ni. Okay. Okay, next one. Okay, this one to sort cases. Sort cases ni. Okay. I'm not sure in your data set right now, is it in order or not in order? In terms of the number of your ID. Dalam arrangement tak? 1, 2, 3 tak?
Not in order, not in order.
Well, I thought Prof. Bahamat already shared during the statistics class, kan? To make sure that the arrangement of your ID are in order. So what you can do is you select data, click data, and then click sort cases. Okay, click data, click sort cases. Because sometimes when we insert our data, when you use the face-to-face meeting with your respondent, then probably you do not insert your ID to according to order. Okay, so bila kita nak sort by when you want to arrange the order tu, then we just can apply the sorting cases. Okay, so you click data, click sort cases, and then select ID. Okay. For example, click data, click sort cases. Okay, then after the sort cases box appear, then you choose ID. Choose ID and locate under sort by box ni. Okay, done. Okay, and then up to you. So which option that you want to choose, either ascending or descending. So I use ascending lah. So then click OK. Okay, then you go to our data set. Okay, go to our data set. Then you can see that it is arranged for you. Okay, boleh. Simple function je ni. Okay, next one. Okay, this one compute variable. Okay, so next function, after you insert all the items in your SPSS, okay, because as what I said, the actual data analysis will be based on the overall construct, not based on individual construct, unless you are looking for the reliability of your instrument. If you are looking for the reliability of your instrument, the analysis will be based on the individual item. But for the actual data analysis, our analysis will be based on the mean of our variable. Okay, so therefore we need to do the computation, variable computation. Okay, sebenarnya untuk you all tu saya dah termasukkan yang saya dah buat. Okay, But saya dah termasuk. But kindly delete the the computation that I did in your data set so that you can practice it by yourself. Okay, delete je. Sepatutnya saya bagi yang kosong tapi terlupa pula nak delete. Okay. Okay, to make the computation, sebenarnya there are few justification why you need to make the computation. Okay, so for example, first you compute because you want to get the total for your variable. For example, for PB ni, philanthropic behavior, I have 8 items, which is the minimum. The minimum scale should be 8. Betul? Betul tak? Betul tak? The minimum answer, the minimum total, the minimum sum should be 8. Betul? Because I use 5 Likert light scale. You all faham tak? Faham tak? Faham tak? You get my question? Faham Okay. For these 8 items, okay, PB1 until PB8, maksudnya for philanthropic behavior, I have 8 items. Okay, in which I use 5 Likert light scale for all the items. So meaning that the total, if let's say my respondent answer 1 for each item. For respondent 1, if my respondent ni answer 1 for each option from item number 1 until item number 8. So the minimum total, the minimum sum will be 8. Am I correct? Okay, the maximum will be 64.
40.
40.
40.
45.
Berapa kali? 5 multiplied by 8. So 40. Okay. Betul. 40. Okay. So we can use this range minimum 8, maximum 48. We can use this range to check either we insert the value correctly. Okay. It can be part of the step in data screening. Because sometimes there will be the human error. When we key in or transfer the data, instead of we insert 4, we insert 8, for example. So then based on this sum, we can check either we insert our data within the range or not, or outside the range. Faham Itu salah satu sebab why we need the computation. Okay, so to make the computation, you just first computation to get the sum. Okay, saya ajar macam mana nak dapat sum dulu The first you click transform, click compute variable. Yang dalam ni adalah to get the mean. Yang mean yang ni saya ajar to get the sum dulu. Okay. Click transform, click compute variable. Okay. Transform, compute the variable. Okay, so under the target variable, we give the name for our new variable. So for example, I use PB underscore sum. Okay, because when give the name, again, we cannot have the space. So that's why I use underscore. PB underscore sum. PB referring to philanthropic behavior. Okay. And then under the numeric expression, okay, I focus on function group. Function group, I click all. Okay, click all under function group. And then under functions and special variables, look for sum. Sum, S-U-M. Okay, and then double click. Okay, sum and double click. Okay. Now in my Windows, the variables or the items are in wording. So if I want to change in numbering form, then I just right click and then display variable names. Okay. Okay, kalau yang wording tu nampak crowded sangat, so I change to display variable names. Okay. So far so good? Okay. So now for sum ni, by default it highlight the first question mark. So I double click for PB1. Okay. Okay. There are few steps, but I show you the short, jalan pintas shortcut. Okay. If your items are in order like this, your items are in order like this, you can do the shortcut by inserting the PB1 space type 2 space and you insert the last item. Okay. Lagi sekali ke? Am I too fast or am I too slow? Fast jarang, slow jarang. You want me to repeat? Repeat recording saya lah nanti Okay?
Doktor, sorry, just nak confirm. So do we need to buat reversal dulu or it's okay? For me, we don't need to make any reversal for any item is ada reversal lah.
Okay.
We proceed je ke kena reversal dulu?
Okay, because for PB ni there is no negative item. Okay, so that's why I just proceed. But for negative item nanti kita fokus. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So now if your variables are in arrangement like this, so you can do the shortcut by inserting the first variable space and then type 2 TO and then space and insert the last variable. And then you delete the comma and the question mark. And then click OK. Okay, and then you click OK, and then you can see at the end of your data set, there will be a new variable which is PB sum. Okay, this one for PB sum. So then you can check lah. So just now our range should be within 8 to 40. So check if there is any outlier. Outlier meaning that any sum that falls beyond this range. So far so good lah. Tak adalah, maksudnya kita insert the right data in our data set. Okay, so now we want to get the mean. Mean dulu mean. Okay, to get the mean, what we need to do, click transform, click compute variable. Okay, this one reset. Transform, click compute variable. Then here for PB, now we use PB sum, now PB underscore mean. Okay, mean, Purata PB, philanthropic behavior. Okay, PB underscore mean. Okay, for numeric expression, we choose function group ni on, and then we look for mean. Okay, make sure you choose this mean, M-E-A-N, not M-I-N. Okay, they are two different things. Okay, so double click this one. Okay, so this one I change display variables name. Okay, then again, because it is in order like this, then I just choose the PB1. Type 2 space and then the last variable. I delete comma and question mark. Okay. And then click OK. Okay, so now we have a new variable, PB main. So this one that we are going to use in our data analysis later. This one, Okay. Next one. As what Mahfuz said, now in our question, in our assignment just now, it is indicated that there are two items are negatively coded. Two items, 4 and 5 for social network size. Social network size. Okay. Now we go to our data set. Social network size, SNS. Oh, ni saya dah buat ni, so saya delete balik. Delete balik nanti buat sendiri. Okay. So to do the reverse coding, kita buat ni. Okay. Mana saya punya SPSS ni tak nampak pula. Okay. To do the reverse coding, what we need to do is we click transform. Takut pula mesej dia baru masuk tu. Okay, to do the reverse coding, now we click transform, Okay. Focus on recode. Click transform, click recode. If you can see from the options here, there are two options for recode. Recode into same variables and recode into different variables. There are two options. Recode into same variable and recode into the different variables. Okay, the function that will be done by the two options ni are similar. They will recode. The differences are when you choose the recode into same variables means that the new variable that you transform ni will replace the original data that you have. Meaning that it will use a new one and then the existing one too will no longer available. It will replace. Okay, but if you choose the recode into different variables, meaning that okay, after you complete the recoding process, okay, it will show you the new recorded item, and then the existing version will be maintained. Okay, so you have two. Kalau recode into same variable, you only have a new recorded version. The second one, you have the existing one and then the new one. So my recommendation, always use recode into different variables. Keep the original version of your data. Okay, recode into different variable. Use this one. Okay. Masa punya ni tak keluar pun. Transform, recode. Keluar pula function saya ni. Jangan. Apa dia nak keluar ni? Ada. Okay, so this is the one. Okay, so the item that we want to recode just now is item number 4 under social network size, 4 and 5. So these two items, right? Okay. You can select as many as you want here. So I choose 2 directly. But semua orang suka shortcut kan? Everybody likes shortcut. Or to make work faster. Kita guna ayat cantik sikit. Okay. Work effectively and efficiently. Okay. So social network 4. So then we change our new name. We give new name to our new item. So SNS4 underscore reverse. Up to you. As long as you know that that one is the reverse coded item. Okay, or you can use SNS4 underscore T terbalik. Okay, up to you as long as you remember. Okay, and then click change. And then do the same for SNS5 underscore SNS5 ni SNS5 underscore R. Reverse. Okay, or SNS5 underscore T. Terbalik. Okay, change. And then click change. Okay, only done. Done. Okay, now click old and new values. Click old and new values. Kecil pula benda ni. Oh, dia keluar kat sini. Okay, this one. Click old and new values. Then you can see that there is a new box appear, old and new values box. So for this box, we focus on old and new value ni. By default, it ticks for you. It ticks for you. Old value, new value. Okay, so now remember our Likert light scale. So as I indicated earlier, I use 5 Likert light scale. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to do the reverse code, we just reverse our 1 to 5 coding. Okay, so 1 becomes 5. 2 becomes 4. 3 maintain as 3. 3. Then 4 becomes 2. 5 becomes 1. Okay. This is all for reverse coding. 1 becomes 5, 2 becomes 4, 3 maintain 3, 4 becomes 2, 5 becomes 1. So what we need to do, we just insert our old value 1, new value becomes 5, and then click add. Okay, old value 2, new value becomes 4, click add. Old value 3, new value maintain as 3, and then click add. Okay, old value 4, new value becomes 2, and then click add. And then old value 5, new value becomes 1, and then click add. Done. Okay, done Nadia tulis. Lagi Nadia ingat, lupa. Nadia kena buat. Saya nampak dia tulis. Lupa. Dah. Done. Done Okay, and then click continue. And then click OK. Okay. Then you can see in your data set, there are 2 new items. Okay, SNS4 underscore reverse and SNS5 underscore reverse. So these 2 items ni, you should use when you want to run the analysis. Either when you want to get the reliability or to proceed with the actual data analysis. We no longer use the existing one without reverse ni. Kita guna hak ni. Jangan pakai dah yang asal. Okay? Done So, apa pula kita punya assignment? Okay, done the reverse code. Now, when referring to our assignment, okay, you need to prepare this table. I thought for frequency and percentage, ada isu ke? Tak ada lah kan? Senang je tak? Tak. Okay, and then for salary, ni tak ada masalah. Okay, hak ni ada masalah ke? Okay, the data that we have just now are in, apa dia punya, what is the scale of measurement for the salary that we have in our SPS ERS5951?
Scale lah, ratio.
Ratio.
Scale. Ratio.
Ratio.
Dia sepatutnya ratio, tapi saya dah masukkan dua-dua dah tu. But I will share with you on how to get this one lah. So the gender shouldn't be a problem lah. You just run the analysis to get the frequency and percentage. Tapi jangan risau, saya tunjuk. Okay, this one salary. For example, you do not have this one tak ada kat ni. Saya cut this one. Okay. So the scale already been given to you. So in which the class, the class size already been given to you. Okay, lesser than 2000, lesser than or equal to 2000, 2001 until 4000, 4001 until 6000, 6001 until 8000, and above 8001. Okay, so we have 5 classes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 classes. Okay. Tapi if let's say you were given the raw data with the minimum and maximum, and then 5 class size needed, then you should be able to determine what class range interval, what class interval. Boleh maximum tolak minimum divide by number of classes needed. Itu contoh nak determine lah. Okay, so this is the interval that we need. Okay, so we go to our data set. Okay, so we need to do the transformation as well. So what we need to do, click transform, and then click this one recode into different variable. Okay, transform recode into different variable. Okay, this one reset. Okay, and then choose salary. Okay, choose salary. And then for salary ni, give a new name, which is salary underscore cat. Cat referring to category, not to chain. Okay, cat referring to category. Okay, and then click change. Okay, now click old and new values. Okay, just now we use old and new value, but now we use range. Okay, now we use range. Hello. First range ni. Range lowest true value, which is the max, the lowest, maksudnya lowest 200 and the lesser group in our interval just now, less or equals to 2000, right? Third. So this one, the value should be 1. Faham eh? The first group is lesser or equals to 2000 and then click add. Okay? Next one, only then we tick range. Range ni 2001 until 4000, which is the second group. And then click add. Next one, 4001 until 6000. New value 3, the third group. And then click add. Next one, 6001 until 8000. The new value of group will be 4. And then click add. And the last one, we click range through value through the highest, which is 8001. Okay? Maksudnya 8001 dan ke atas. Okay? And then click, and here insert group number 5, and then click add. And then click continue, and then click OK. Okay, in your data set, then you can see there is a new salary category. Okay, done. Then you can do the same for age. Do the same, do repeat similar step for age. Okay. Now to get the frequency and percentage. Okay, frequency and percentage. Okay, this one we run the descriptive data analysis. To run the descriptive analysis, click analyze, click descriptive statistics, click frequencies. Analyze descriptive statistics and frequencies. Then you insert the variable that you want to get the frequency and percentage. Okay. Okay, by the way, before I forgot, for salary, we have categorical data and then the data with continuous form. Okay, we have two types of data for salary. Okay, to report mean and standard deviation, okay, the two values need should be derived from the continuous data or the categorical data. Mana satu?
Categorical.
Apa dia? Dua-dua?
Categorical.
Apa dia? Categorical?
Raw data.
Continuous data.
Continuous data. Okay, meaning that the mean and standard deviation ni should be derived from the continuous data. Only for the frequency and percentage we obtain from the from the categorical. But for the mean and standard deviation, it must be derived from the continuous data. Okay, so that's why when we run the analysis here, okay, when insert the variable now, we want gender, frequency, race, frequency. Okay, salary, we want to get the mean and standard deviation. Okay, and then we want the okay. Okay. So now click statistics. Okay. To get the percentile, then we report the percentile. We include 100% here. Tick the percentile and then write 100 and then click add. Okay, for some variable, it it does not give any meaning to report mean, but for the salary continuous data, we need to report mean. Okay, and then what's next? Percentile, mean. Okay, that's all. Standard deviation, sorry, standard deviation. That's it, right? This one nantilah, ni nanti. Okay, so we need percentile, mean. Percentile ni referring to percentage. Okay, and then dispersion, we need standard deviation and then click OK. Sorry, continue and then click OK. Okay, so then this is our output. So from our output, so for gender, these are the percentage and frequency. Frequency, percentage. So this one that you need to report in your assignment. Gender, race, and then the salary. The salary is the raw data, but we do not need to report this one because we need to report the salary. So in terms of grouping, report this group. But in terms of mean, do we need to report mean for gender? Gender.
No.
No. Okay, does it give any meaning to report mean for race?
No.
Salary? What about salary category?
Yeah, we need to report it.
Salary category or salary?
Salary category.
Salary.
Salary category or salary?
Salary.
Salary.
Elwa, if you report the category, then meaning that the means need will be based on the 5 group.
Okay.
Then make sure for the salary you do not report the category. So that's why when you prepare your questionnaire, I always advise for you to collect the continuous data, because from the continuous data it is possible for you to get the mean and standard deviation. But if you prepare your salary in categorical form, then you miss this information, mean and standard deviation. You might not get the mean. You cannot get the mean pun, bukan might not, memang takkan impossible to get the mean. But if you have the data in continuous form like this, you let your respondent give their actual salary, okay, then you can transform from this continuous data to categorical data. It is a very powerful data. That's why saya selalu advisekan macam ni. Tapi if let's say it is not possible, because the salary ni somehow it is very confidential information, then it's okay, proceed with this one lah. Tapi kita miss this information. Okay, so for salary category, we do not use this data. Kita tak pakai pun. For salary, only for salary we use this one. We report the mean and standard deviation. We report these two.
Normin, do we need to attach the output with our assignment?
For the assignment no need. No need.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, done. Highline tu lagi satu tu buatlah sendiri.
Doktor, kalau age pun macam tu juga
Yes, similar thing. Sebab tu saya
So
buat.
kalau questionnaire kita nanti actually age pun it is advisable to use continuous data lah ya.
Yes. If your research related to speed, for example, then request them to locate their actual speed on the road. 120 ke, 130 ke, 80 ke. So that it is more powerful. That's why ratio ni is the most powerful data, because from ratio or interval then you can convert into anything. Okay?
Macam tempoh perkhidmatan pun macam tu kan doktor? Tempoh semua.
Betul. Tempoh semua. So then you can get the mean, puratanya. Kan? Maksudnya for the group of this, berapa dia punya purata servis dia? Berapa dia punya pengalaman kerja? How long dia working experience ataupun experience working overall working experiences. Dia lagi banyak lagi penceritaan yang kita boleh cerita. Okay, make sure you all jangan report this one. Sebab siapa saya cerita tahu last time when presenting your finding during seminar ni, student report that the gender is 1.5. So what does it mean? So in quantitative research, when you run any analysis in when you insert any data or any numbers in SPSS, the SPSS will process for you. But make sure there are differences between you and SPSS. The differences first lah, for sure we cannot run the analysis as accurate as SPSS, right? Dia memang accurate lah. But make sure we as researcher, we know exactly what information to be reported and which information not to be reported. Be selective. Okay, jangan report semua yang ada daripada SPSS. Okay, be selective because we as a researcher, we should know which one should, which one shouldn't be. Okay, jadi make sure ada beza antara kita dengan sistem. Sebab tu sistem tak boleh bergerak sendiri, dia kena ada orang yang menilainya. Okay, so in terms of formatting, so this is the APA format to report your descriptive finding. Okay, this is the format to report your descriptive finding. Kat sini saya tulis run the internal consistency. Oh maksudnya, you all buat sampai sini dah dulu. Okay, you all buat kat sini dulu. Reliability belum. Nombor 2 ni belum lagi 3, sorry, 3 and 4 ni not yet. Construct validation. Okay, buat hak ni dulu. Okay. Kita stop kat sini dulu ni. Panjang dah. Saya pula letih dah.
Kami sorry. Soalan nombor 4 tu present the result. Sorry sebab hujan lebat kat sini. Present the result in the table according to 6 APA style or 7 APA style.
Okay, so the current version is 7. I give the option lah for you. So the current format that I use is 6.6. Okay, but the issue of formatting ni, as long as you use consistently the format either according to 6 or 7 shouldn't be a problem lah. But mine is still referring to 6. So, but the general rule, as long as it is consistent, if you follow the 7, then make sure all the reporting to follow the 7 APA style. But if you use 6, then all the formatting from your cover page until the end of your report tu, you follow the 6 APA style. Shouldn't be okay. Should be okay. Shouldn't be okay pula. Should be okay.
Last question, Dr. Naomi. Is it okay for the first assignment we answer in Malay and for the second assignment in English alternate? Or you want all in English or all in Malay?
Gini. General rule sebagai seorang manusia, I accept both. I accept one Malay sebab saya faham dua-dua. But in interview session, answer the question according to the language used by the interviewer. Dia punya rule dia, make sure you answer the question according to the language that being used by the interviewer. Tapi saya tak potong markah lah. Kalau you all guna satu Malay, satu English tu, saya tak potong markah. Okay?
Okay, terima kasih.
Okay, so boleh yang reliability ni we proceed in our next session because before we are able to proceed with the practice ni, I should present the theory dulu. Theory behind the internal consistency. What does it mean by internal consistency? By the construct validation ni. Okay? Boleh, dua ni saya KIV dulu sebab for today we are done with our first topic lah.
Doktor nak tanya satu pasal tadi you were saying about pasal the question. Is it a must for us to have dual language in our questionnaire or can we just have one language?
Okay, bukan first lah. The answer depend on your respondent. If your respondents are very fluent in Tamil, okay, and then use Tamil. If your respondents fluent in Malay, then use Malay. No need both language. Okay, you can use we use both language because sometimes even though our respondents having at degree level, but they still having difficulties in English. But some might prefer English. So that's why we prepare both in general. But make sure when you prepare your respondent, it suits your respondent it suit your respondent. So that your respondent when they read the questionnaire tu, they feel attached to your items. They want to read your items. Okay, they understood regarding the information that being portrayed within your instrument. Itu yang paling penting. Depend on your respondent, not necessarily in real language. Okay, it depends on our respondent. Kalau our respondent is makcik-makcik, then use simple Malay. If our respondents are Chinese, then they use Mandarin, then convert it into Mandarin. Use the language that being preferred by our respondent. Kalau our respondents are PhD holders, then we expect them to have a fluency, a good fluency in English. Then therefore you use English, fully English. Okay, depends on our respondent. Jangan ikut orang lain. And then same goes to the information that you want to report in your demographic section. Make sure every item that you include, it is based on your research. Do not include something that not needed in your study, but you just copy from your friend. Next time, you just include your friend's name in your thesis. Okay, include je nama kawan kita tu sebab kita copy dia kan. Include je. Okay, so make sure it is being adapted according to your setting exactly. Ikut setting kita. Okay, if your study do not have anything related to family, then no need for you to report family. Okay, if your study have any something related to dia punya the marital status, for example the performance ataupun conflict contohnya, then possible lah for you to report the status, right? Something that closely related to your study. Do not copy and paste because sometimes in your study it does not give any meaning. Because why? Sometimes for certain demographic elements ni, when you want to discuss your finding, for example, so then you do not have any idea what you want to relate with whatever finding that you have, so then you can relate with the demographic finding that you have. So then you have another point to be included in your discussion section. Okay, kenapa dia macam ni? Kenapa there is a significant relationship between workload and family conflict, for example? So then you can relate with the number of child, you can relate with their status, their marital status, and then the financial dia punya salary, then you can relate. Amen?
Doktor, macam demografi tu, kalau kita minta je banyak maklumat, nanti kita fikir kita nak analyse kemudian tu boleh?
Pula kita call it as waste, membazir. Okay, maksudnya when we conduct study, we already strategize or we already know what information to be included and not to be included. You can include all the information that you think necessary later, tapi kalau kita tak pakai, dia akan jadi membazir, waste. Tapi tak apa, kalau rasa nak masukkan, okey, boleh. Cuma kita sebagai researcher tak nak lah. Kan kita buat kerja ni kan effective and efficient. Okay?
Rami,
Ya.
if in our survey, for each and there are surveys, we already put in our questionnaire in a categorical, dalam bentuk categorical. So kita tak possible lah nak present min and SD dia kan?
Yes, it's not possible. Okay, setengah tu Datuk kata bila dah tercakap tu tak boleh nak tarik balik. But it's okay. Then you have your probably you have your justification lah why. It's okay, but you miss that information lah. Maksudnya you know the class tu, but we do not know the mean. Okay, in overall for our target group ni, what are their working experiences or what are their salary? So we do not have that one lah. So sometimes, tapi ada certain situation in which reporting mean ni does not give any meaning. Sebab apa? Sebab there are large gap between the minimum and maximum ni. Dan dia punya perbezaan ni, the differences are not, dia kata perbezaan ni tak sekata. Ada juga. Tapi in general, most of the study in quantitative, they report mean and standard deviation. Okay? Tapi tidaklah bila kita tak report tu, kita kena jumpa lagi satu semester. Okay, taklah macam tu. Cuma when you become a researcher in the future, then in quantitative ni kita nak kalau boleh detail information lah. So then we can provide a more variety description regarding why the relationship happening, kenapa tak ada hubungan. Kita ada banyak idea to justify. Okay. Okay. If there is no more question, tak ada takut dah. Boleh lah test sikit-sikit. Okay, so if there is no more question, we stop here lah for today. See you insyaAllah next week. Itu je lah. Okay, so thank you guys for today.
Doktor nak tanya for Ramadan ada changes ke in class timing? Tak ada.
Class timing.
Sama je kan?
We maintain as it is, but if possible,
Okay.
we try to make it short and sweet. Okay, short and sweet. Boleh? Sebab I can't change because I have undergraduate class 1 to 3. So saya tak boleh make it earlier. Kecuali kalau ubah hari. Bila ubah hari lain tu, are you available? Itu pula saya hari Isnin dengan Khamis. Monday and Thursday. I'm available lah kalau nak change. Kita maintain as it is, unless kalau ada you manage to find new available time, then just let me know. I will consider. Okay? Alah, relax lah, bukannya stress pun. Okay lah.
Doktor, recorded class online ni kat mana Dr. Steve?
Okay, for the time being, I'm not yet uploaded. I'm upload the file, but I will upload in my YouTube lah. InsyaAllah. Ni esok saya upload. ERS5951 pun esok saya upload. Okay? 5900. Okay, so thank you guys. So stay safe. See you next week. Assalamualaikum.
Salam.